Hello, shadowing English learners. Today, I want to talk about nobody discusses in English learning. You read work emails just fine. You understand your colleagues when they talk. But then you sit in a meeting, and everything changes. Someone asks for your opinion, you freeze. Your mind goes blank. You don't know what to say. Or worse, you start speaking, and the words come out wrong, clumsy, slow. Everyone waits. You can feel their patience running thin. Here's the strange part. You knew what you wanted to say. The ideas were clear in your mind. Between your mouth, something broke down. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. More importantly, this isn't about your English level. It's about something completely different. Today, I'm going to explain why meetings feel so much harder than other English situations, and I'll show you exactly what to do about it. Practical steps tomorrow morning. Start with the real problem. The pressure. Most English vocabulary. They prepare you to understand, but meetings don't test your understanding. They test your ability to language under pressure, in real time, with people watching. Think about how different these two situations are. When you're reading email, you have time. You can read a sentence twice. You can look up a word. Nobody's waiting for you. Your brain works at its own pace. But in a meeting, you have maybe 3 seconds. Someone finishes talking, eyes turn to you. You need to respond, right now. No pause button, no dictionary, no time to think about grammar. This is performance pressure, and it changes everything about how your brain processes language. Here's what happens inside your mind during a meeting. Your brain is trying to do 5 things at the same time. You're listening to what someone said. You're translating their words into your opinion. You're translating that opinion back into English. And you're monitoring your pronunciation and grammar while you speak. 5 mental tasks happening simultaneously while people wait. For native speakers, most of this is automatic. They don't translate. They don't monitor their grammar consciously. Their brain does it in the background. But for you, each step requires active attention. It's like trying to drive a car while manually controlling every tiny movement of the steering wheel. The result? Mental overload. Your brain slows down, or it skips steps. You might start speaking before your sentence, or you hesitate so long that the conversation moves on without you. And here's the worst part. This creates a cycle. You struggle in one meeting. That memory stays with you. Next meeting, you're already nervous before it starts. The nervousness makes you perform worse, which creates another bad memory. And the cycle continues. But understanding this pressure is actually the first step to fixing it. Because once you know what you're fighting against, you can train specifically for it. Part 2. The anticipation. They're called anticipation gap. It's the difference between passive English and active English. Passive English is when you receive language. Listening. Your brain recognizes patterns. It decodes meaning, but it doesn't have to create anything. Active English is when you produce language, speaking, writing. Your brain must construct sentences from nothing, choose words, organize thoughts, make it all sound natural. Most learners spend 90% of their time on passive English. You watch videos, you listen to podcasts, you read articles, all valuable, but none of it requires production. Then you walk into a meeting, and suddenly you meet active English. It's like learning to swim by watching swimming videos. You understand the theory, you know what good swimming looks like, but the first time you jump in the water, you sink. Because watching and doing are completely different skills. Here's a small test. Right now, without looking anything up, try to answer this question out loud. What did you eat for dinner last night? And why did you choose that meal? Did you answer smoothly? Or did you pause, search for words, feel a little awkward? That's the participation gap. Even simple questions can feel difficult when you have to speak spontaneously. Now imagine that same question in a meeting. But instead of dinner, someone asks about your project timeline or your opinion on a new strategy. The pressure multiplies. Most English learners focus on learning more words, more grammar rules, more expressions. But that's like adding more swimming videos to your playlist. It doesn't close the gap. You need a different approach entirely. You need to practice production, not just comprehension. And you need to practice under realistic conditions. Time pressure, social pressure, mental load. That's what actually happens in meetings, and that's what you need to train for. Part 3. The 4 meeting traps. Let me show you the 4 specific traps that make meetings so difficult. Understanding these will change how you prepare. Trap 1. The speed mismatch. In a meeting, people speak at conversation speed, not textbook speed. They use contractions. They drop sounds. They link words together. What you think becomes, what do you think? I'm going to becomes, I'm gonna. Your ears might catch this when you're just listening. But when you need to respond, your brain gets confused. Because you learned formal English, complete sentences, clear pronunciation. Now you're trying to match their casual rhythm, and you can't. You speak too slowly, too carefully. It sounds unnatural. The mismatch makes you stand out, and that makes you self-conscious, which slows you down even more. Meetings have invisible rules about when to speak. Native speakers sense these rules automatically. They know when someone's finishing their thought, when it's okay to interrupt, to wait. These microsignals happen in fractions of a second, but you're processing a foreign language. By the time you realize someone's done talking and form your response, 2 other people have already jumped in. The moment passed. You missed your turn. This happens meeting after meeting. You have good ideas, but you can't find the right moment to share them. So you stay quiet. People assume you have nothing to contribute, but the real problem is timing, not ideas. Trap 3. The filler word vacuum. When native speakers think while talking, they use filler words. Well, you know, like, I mean. These words buy them time. They signal to others, I'm still talking, wait for me. You probably learned that filler words are bad. That good English means smooth, perfect sentences. So when you speak, you try to avoid them. but then you have these long, empty pauses while you search for words. Empty pauses are dangerous in meetings. People interpret them as confusion or as the end of your turn. Someone else starts talking. You lose the floor. Filler words aren't mistakes. They're tools. And without them, you can't hold space in a conversation. Trap 4. The confidence spiral. This is the most damaging trap. After struggling in meetings, you start to doubt yourself. Not just your English, your ideas, your value. You think, maybe my opinions aren't good enough. Maybe I don't belong here. Maybe I should just stay quiet. This becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You speak less. You practice less. You improve slower. Your confidence drops further. But here's the truth. Your colleagues aren't judging your grammar. They're judging your contribution. They want to hear your perspective. They're probably not even noticing most of your small errors. You are your own harshest critic. The confidence spiral is mental, not linguistic, but it feels real, and it stops many capable professionals from advancing in their careers. These 4 traps work together. They compound. One leads to another. Speed issues, timing problems, damage confidence makes speed worse. It's a complete system working against you. But if you understand the system, you can break it. Part 4. The response framework. Now let me give you something practical. A framework you can use in every meeting starting tomorrow. I call it the 3-part response. It's simple, flexible, and it works even when your mind goes blank. Here's how it works. Part 1. Acknowledge. When someone asks you a question, don't go straight to your answer. First, acknowledge what they said. This buys you thinking time, and it shows you're listening. Examples. That's a good question. I see what you mean. Interesting point. Thanks for bringing that up. These phrases take 2 seconds to say. During those 2 seconds, your brain starts organizing your real answer, without awkward silence. Part 2. State your core idea. Now give your main point. 1 clear sentence, not everything you think. Examples. I think we should wait until next month. The budget might be a problem. I'd like to suggest a different approach. In my experience, this usually works better. 1 sentence, that's all. Don't try to explain everything at once. Just plant your flag. Make your position clear. Part 3. Add 1 supporting detail. Finally, give 1 reason or 1 example. Not 5 reasons. Not a long story. Just 1 supporting point. Examples. Because the team needs more time to prepare. Because we've only allocated funds for the current project. Because I've seen similar situations take longer than expected. That's it. 3 parts. Acknowledge. State your idea. Support with 1 detail. This framework does something brilliant. It breaks your response into manageable chunks. Your brain doesn't have to construct a perfect paragraph. It just needs 3 small pieces. Much easier. And it sounds professional, natural, confident, even if you're nervous inside. Let's see it in action. Someone asks, do you think we should launch the new feature this week? You respond, good question. I think we should wait 1 more week because we haven't finished testing with actual users yet. Done. Clear. effective. No fancy vocabulary needed, no complex grammar. Just three simple parts working together. Practice this framework. Use it for every meeting response this week, even simple questions. Train your brain to think in this structure. After a few weeks, it becomes automatic. You won't even notice you're doing it. Part 5. The preparation ritual. Something most people never consider. The real work of speaking in meetings happens before the meeting starts. Professional athletes don't just show up and play. They prepare. They warm up. They visualize. They get their mind and body ready for performance. You should treat meetings the same way, not as random events, as performances that require preparation. Let me give you a 5-minute ritual you can do before any meeting. Step 1. Preview the agenda. Look at the meeting topics. What might people ask you? What opinions might you need to share? Don't write a script. Just think through the possibilities. This primes your brain, activates relevant vocabulary, prepares mental pathways. Step 2. Practice 3 key phrases out loud. Not in your head, out loud. Say 3 sentences you might need to use. For example, I'd like to add something here. Can I share my perspective? I have a concern about that timeline. Physically speaking, these words activates your mouth muscles, your tongue, your breath control. It's like a warm-up exercise. When you actually need these phrases in the meeting, they come out smoother because your mouth already practiced them. Step 3. Breathe and center. Take 10 deep breaths, slow, controlled. This calms your nervous system, reduces anxiety. Clear thinking requires a calm body. You can't speak well when your heart is racing and your chest is tight. This ritual takes 5 minutes. You can do it at your desk, in the bathroom, in your car before a video call. Nobody needs to know, but the effect is dramatic. You walk into the meeting feeling prepared. Not perfect, not fearless, but ready. And that small shift in mindset changes everything. Part 6. The daily practice system. Now let's talk about long-term improvement. Because the truth is, you can't fix meeting anxiety with tricks and tips alone. You need to build real speaking ability, and that requires consistent practice. But you're busy. You have work, family, life. You can't spend 3 hours a day on English practice. I understand. So here's a realistic system for busy adults. Morning. The 2-minute monologue. Every morning while making coffee or getting dressed, speak out loud for 2 minutes. No script. Just talk about anything. What you did yesterday, what you plan to do today, what you think about something in the news. 2 minutes. Every day. No excuses. This builds your spontaneous speaking muscle, the same muscle you use in meetings. It trains your brain to produce language without overthinking. Don't record it. Don't analyze it. Don't judge yourself. Just speak. The goal is fluency, not perfection. You're teaching your mouth to move while your brain thinks. Workday, the meeting reflection. After each meeting, take 60 seconds. Think about one thing you said well and one thing you want to say better next time. Write them down if you can. This reflection cements learning. Your brain pays attention to what you review. Most people leave meetings and forget everything immediately. They miss the learning opportunity. These 60-second reflections accumulate. You've dozens. Brain starts to notice patterns. Improve automatically. Evening, the conversation replay. Before bed, replay one conversation from your day. Not a meeting, any conversation with a colleague, a friend, a cashier. Replay it in your mind. What did they say? What did you say? This isn't about regret. It's about learning. Your brain processes language better when you review it. This 5-minute mental exercise strengthens your conversational instincts. Weekly, the challenge recording. Once a week, record yourself answering 3 random questions. Use your phone. Ask a friend to give you questions, or find questions online. Speak for 1 minute per question, then listen to the recording. Don't criticize everything. Just notice one pattern. Maybe you say a lot. Maybe you speak too quietly. Maybe you rush your words. Choose one thing to improve for next week. This system takes maybe 15 minutes total per day, spread across your routine. No special time needed. No classroom. No teacher. Just consistent, focused practice. Do this for 1 month. You will notice a difference. Do it for 3 months. The difference will be obvious. Do it for 6 months. You'll be a different speaker. Part 7. The Mindset Shift. Before we finish, I want to address the mental side, because technique alone won't help if your mindset is working against you. Many English learners carry shame about their speaking. They apologize before they talk. Sorry, my English is not good. They minimize their contributions. They assume native speakers are judging them. Let me tell you something important. Most native English speakers admire you. They respect that you're working in a second language. They couldn't do what you're doing. They know 1 language. You know 2 or more. Your accent isn't a weakness. It's evidence of courage. You left your linguistic comfort zone. You're building a skill most people never attempt. That deserves respect, not shame. Stop apologizing for your English. Stop saying, "This might be wrong, but." Just speak your truth. Share your ideas. If someone doesn't understand, they'll ask. That's normal communication. It happens between native speakers too. Reframe mistakes as data, not failures. Every error teaches you something. Every awkward moment reveals something to improve. This is how growth works. Messy, imperfect, real. And remember, meetings are hard for everyone. Native speakers also freeze sometimes. They also search for words. They also worry about sounding stupid. The difference is, they don't blame it on language. They just accept it as part of being human. You deserve that same kindness toward yourself. So here's what I want you to do this week. Use the 3-part response framework in your next meeting. Acknowledge, state your idea, add 1 detail. That's it. See how it feels. Notice the difference. Do the 5-minute pre-meeting ritual, just once. See if it changes your confidence. Start the 2-minute morning monologue. Just speak. Don't judge. Build the habit. These small actions compound. They might feel insignificant today, but in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, they transform how you show up in professional spaces. Your English is already good enough. Now you're learning to trust it under pressure, to access it quickly, to use it confidently. That's the final piece of the puzzle. If this was helpful, I'd appreciate a like. It helps other English learners find this channel. and subscribe if you want more practical speaking strategies. No fluff, no false promises, just real techniques for real improvement. I'm Sarah. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.